Hi, welcome to the Spiderscribe Demo for our Collaborative Technologies project. Here I'm at Spiderscribe.net, the welcome screen for their site. In the top right hand corner there's a little link there to log in. Click that. Hey, look, it remembers me. I've already used this computer once before. That's why it remembered my login name. So to create yourself an account, no problem. If you don't have one, it is free. You can sign yourself up. All you need is an email address, a username, and create yourself a password, and presto, you're ready to roll. So let me get logged in here. If I can remember my password, we're good to go. Click my login button, wait just a second. It's going to show me all the maps I've created, and as it happens, I have no maps. So the interface is pretty clean. In the top left hand corner there's a little link here to create a new map. Just click on that, give your map a name. Let's call this about evaluating collaborative tools. Click on create, and I'm ready to get started. Let me just take a second to walk you through how this interface looks like. At the left hand side you've got kind of your main 5 items that you can put on your mind map or your brainstorming results. Text items, documents, images, maps, and events. And then up at the top I've got my other kind of toolbar up here. So let's get started here. So I'm going to do something around brainstorming ideas around how could we evaluate collaborative online tools. So I'm just going to take the approach where I'm just going to blast down some brainstorming ideas, and I'm going to organize them in a little bit later. So here's how you can do it using Spiderscribe. If you take your mouse and you click on this T in the left hand box here and just drag out, and as soon as I let go it's going to make me a bubble wherever I let go. And don't worry, you don't have to get it right the first time. You can always move them around later. So the first thing I'm interested in is I worry about kind of has the tool been around before? And like most brainstorms, you're just trying to get enough information down that makes sense. I want another bubble. Go back to the left hand side, click on the T, hold my left mouse button down, drag it, and then drop it, and I'm ready to go. So how about has it been around successfully for a while? How about is it brand new? Is it, you notice I'm just clicking on that text box on the left hand side going there. Is there a community of users, or I'm on my own? What about security? What about is it in the cloud? Now if I want to do more than one line per text box, the trick is you have to hold the shift button and then click the enter key, and now looks like your text is gone. Don't worry, I think it's still there. Or is it on the desktop? Shift enter. Or is it a hybrid where I can access it in the cloud anywhere, anytime? Or is it on my desktop, or both? Offline access, all different kind of bits and pieces around where it might work. So that's basically how I'm going to create some of my bubbles. Left hand side, click on the text, drag, holding my left button, put it wherever I want it to go, let go, and then type in my stuff. So something about, what about privacy? I'm always worried about that. Is anybody going to be able to read this? Do they need a password? Where are things at? So that's basic, your bubble entry here in Spiderscribe.net. So we have a whole bunch of ideas down on our map so far, but I want to kind of start to organize these. So I'm going to put a little bit of an organizer first. And so one of the organizers when I review my bubbles is around maturity. So there it is. I create that item called maturity, and then I'm just going to move some of these other ones. So to move an item, as soon as I put my mouse over top of it, it kind of highlights it. I'm going to move my hand so that I kind of on those little dots, and all of a sudden it changes and it gives me the finger, and I'm just going to hold my left mouse button down, move it to where I want, and then let go. So has it been around? Is it being successful? Is it brand new? I'm going to take all those and kind of say those are in my maturity section, and I'm going to make it kind of explicit. I'm going to build some link lines between these items. So the way I find it to be the best is I go to my top level item, and at the bottom, when I put my finger and my mouse over the bottom center, you'll see that little plus. I'm going to hold my mouse button down, there comes an arrow, and link it. Just drop it anywhere on top of that box. Blink. Same idea here, same idea there. So that's how I can build some linkages between my thoughts and my items. Now if I move this maturity, you'll notice it automatically stretches my lines and does all that bits and pieces for me. Okay? Perfect. So that's how I can build link lines between the various thoughts. Now, hang on here. This is supposed to be about collaborative tools, so we better actually do some collaboration here. So I'm going to invite somebody else to be able to work on this mind map with me and brainstorm ideas, because that's one of the nice things of an online tool like Spiderscribe. So to share those with this mind map with someone else, I'm going to go up in the top right hand corner here and you'll see a little share button. I'm going to click on that and it's going to give me some choices. So right now the only person is me, Greg 2, the owner, and I'm going to also add this other person called another Greg. Who'd have thunk it? So I'm going to add their email address in here. And then I'm going to say that person, no, they can do more than read. They can actually edit and add items. And I'm going to send them email notification so that they'll say, hey, heads up, we've got another mind map that you can contribute to. And I'm going to say, you know what, I want to be the owner. I don't want them removing me from editing my own product here. So I'm going to take the can add people and change permissions, take that away. So that's it. Put in an email address, give them a role as either a reader or an editor. You decide whether you want to email them or not, and click save. And when I do that, you'll notice a second person's added for a second. And at the other end, that person will get an email, and if they happen to be logged in instantly, they would see another map being shared with them in their list of maps. So we've added text box onto our map so far. I want to show you one of the other ways you can do something is on the left hand side we've been doing text boxes. Let's slide down to the third one, a picture box. So I'm just going to click on that, same idea, drag it. When I put it where I want, I let go and up comes a new box. From that box I have the ability to upload an image. So I move my mouse over top of upload an image, click on that button, and then it's going to ask me to find on my computer an image that I want to upload. There it is. I want to do the little bubble.us, Bubbleless, another collaborative sharing brainstorming tool. That image, click on it, click on open. Takes just a second, and there's my image. I'm going to add some more text underneath that one because not only can I add images, but one of the things I found out in the text box is if you type in a web address into the text box, it senses that it's a URL and automatically now has the ability, I'm just going to move this underneath it, I'm going to build a link by moving my mouse over top of the box, bottom center, click the plus, link it to this one. Now if I want to go to that site, I just move my mouse over top of it, click on that URL, takes just a second, and there it jumped right to that website. Let me close that website up and get you back to our mind map. So now we have text boxes, we have images, we have URLs all on our mind map. The next one that we're going to look at is the ability to add some documents. Hang on here. Do you see this bubble up here? Enter notes. Where did that one come from? Documentation. I didn't type that. Remember we set up sharing? On another computer, that other person we invited just started to open up this mind map and has the ability to add items and edit the same mind map and brainstorm collection while we're in it. So that's one of the neat features of Spiderscribe.net is that a person can have multiple people editing the same document at the same time. And there's some debate whether that's good for brainstorming or not, but it is quite a neat feature that is unique to the online brainstorming tools. So let's just give it a second here and see if that other person adds anything else there into it. So they added one about documentation. It looks like they're typing in another one because now on our screen now we see a second bubble being created, and probably just in a second, there we go, documentation community forums. Okay, so they're contributing to the same map. Even though they entered the items, I can still click on them, move them to wherever I want, and I'm going to move those over to there. So let's get back to what I was trying to say. We wanted to add a document into here. So in our mind map we want to have it. So I'm going to take the document, click on it on the left hand toolbar, click and drag, decide where I want it to go, let go, and just like the image I have the ability now to upload a file. And here it is, this Word document is that, and instantly that Word document has been uploaded and it's now part of this map. And if I want to see that Word document, I just move my mouse over top of it where I have the title of the document. I just click on that, and Word fires up, and here you go. Here's a Word document embedded now in our brainstorming mind map. Quite interesting. So we have text bubbles, we have documents uploaded, and we did a Word document, but it could be PDFs, Excel spreadsheets, whatever you want. We've had images. You can add a map. So let's try that. Click and drag our little map onto our brainstorm. And in the bottom center of that, you'll have had at the bottom here, I'm going to say this is a mind map, and I want a picture of the University of Calgary in Calgary, Alberta, Canada. Oops. And I just press enter there, and there we go. Looks like it's using some kind of Google mapping technology, and I can move that to be bottom center. I'm going to add this community of users. I'm going to make that part of my maturity. So I'm going to drag that back over here. I'm going to go up to my top level one, click in the plus in the bottom center, and just drag another link line between them. There's my maturity section here. And I could go on and on. There's lots more criteria that I could do on my map. So that's our basic tool set. This last one is around adding an event. And if I click and drag one of those on here just so you can see it, I have the ability to say, bring up a calendar and say on this mind map on November 17th. And this might be good for group projects or keeping track, more of a project management thing here. And then we could say, and we could put notes here, enter the details into spicy nodes. Details into spicy nodes. Made a typo, so I just click in there. Typical word processing ability to go in there. Also, if I go back to maturity, I'm going to click on that text box first because I've never explained these properties over here. I could change that from being a white box to being a green one, make the border a little thicker, make the font a little larger. Just a way to kind of set off kind of my categories versus my sub-level items. We're near the completion of our demonstration here, but just a quick last few hitters here. Sometimes you have a text box that you want to get rid of. So let's, for example, take this privacy one. As I move my cursor over top of it, you'll notice in the top left-hand corner of the bubble, there's a little X. If I want to get rid of this bubble, just click on the X and it's gone. Same idea with link lines. If I want to get rid of this link line between maturity and brand new, I just move my cursor over top of it. The link line will turn red, and if I click on it, the line will be gone. Hey, want that back? I could either do this way. I could click up the top center of maturity and just create myself a link line. But I also have some key features I haven't shown you yet. Up here in the top in the toolbar, here's the undo and redo, typical of most word processors. The next button is to center your map. So if we had quite a large map, or if you want to center it on a specific node, you'll notice maturity is highlighted right now. And if I click on the center button, it'll center the screen on that maturity one. If I just click away, on, for example, documentation, I can center based on that. I can zoom in and out. I have the ability to print my maps. I have the ability to export my maps as either JPEGs or PNGs, which would be static copies of the items, which can come in handy. Lastly, I could clear my entire map, which would be quite a dangerous feature, so be careful with there. Last thing I need to show you is how do you get back and see what other maps or create a new map. Here we go. In the top left-hand corner here, this left-hand arrow with a little bit of a listing looking icon, it says Map List. If I click on that, it returns me back to the list of all the maps I've created in Spiderscribe.net. Thanks. Have a great day.